Hi there. Today we're going to talk all about being a wise consumer when it comes to spending for the most part, your money on products and services related to health. So, a product. Some factors to consider before buying a product are its safety, its cost, is there a warranty or not, and is there any consumer testing that has been done? So when I use that word product, what I'm talking about is when you're going to spend money on something and you're going to get something in return for your money related to health, such as a piece of exercise equipment, different types of water bottles, a fitness tracker, supplements, a blood pressure monitor, any product related to health. You're actually going to be doing an assignment later today where I ask you to compare two similar health-related products. I don't want you to think about food, and I don't want you to think about clothing items or shoes. Yes, I know we use all those for food, for health, but for this assignment, I want you to think of a product like what I have mentioned here. And that's, if you have other ideas you want to run by me, just send me an email. Okay, so we want to spend our money on a product. Well, these are some questions that we should consider before we spend our money. So first of all, is there any safety issues we need to know about? So read the product labels and any other information supplied with the product to determine its contents and possible safety issues. Can you think of anything else related to safety? I'm thinking of a warning label that we might find maybe on a supplement. Or I'm thinking about a treadmill and how it is great. It's a great exercise tool, but there's some definite safety features regarding treadmills, right? So think about what you need and are there safety concerns that you need to be aware of? Another thing to consider for a product is obviously the cost. Are there other brands that will give you the same results at a lower cost? A lot of times a brand name product, a popular product, will cost a lot more. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's a better product. How about a warranty? A warranty means that there's an offer to repair or replace the product if something goes wrong. And if there is a warranty, how long is it good for? And what does it cover? Going back to my treadmill example, maybe there's a warranty that will be good for 5 years, but it doesn't cover the motor, and the motor might be the most expensive part, or it doesn't cover the belt, which gets the most wear, the part you actually walk or run on. So look into the warranty. Sometimes products will automatically come with a warranty, and sometimes we can purchase an extended warranty for an extended time period, like another year, 2, 3 years, 5 years, and so on. And last thing about a product, has there been any consumer testing done on this product? Some government agencies and private groups test a wide range of consumer products. They publish their results and their recommendations. Groups might endorse or approve products that rate highly on their tests. By doing so, the group is saying that the claims made for the product by the manufacturer are true. So think about it. Let's say I run Henry Health Company. I'm not going to put my stamp of approval on something unless I truly believe in it. So just look for any recommendations. Who's recommending it? Who's approving it? Who's endorsing it? Let's see. With that, you can also look at customer reviews. I'm thinking about Amazon right now and all the customer reviews people put. I don't know about you, but I do look at that. I see how it rates and I compare them with other products when I'm thinking about buying something. You can look up websites at like consumerreports.org. And I'm sure there's other things that you might be thinking of regarding consumer testing. Okay, so that's products. here on this website, if you go to this link, it takes you to Consumer Reports website, and on that homepage, towards the bottom, there's a video to watch. It's, I think, 2 minutes long on comparing different blood pressure monitors. Or right there on the homepage, the first video I think that comes up might be about comparing how they compare drugs, the price of drugs, and where which drug we should choose, a medication drug, prescription medication. So that's pretty interesting information. I know my husband and I actually just purchased a blood pressure monitor. I had not looked at this video, but it is interesting to just think about, whether we made a good choice or not based on just what we knew compared to what this video showed. All right. The next place I want you to think about is spending your money for a service related to health. So a service means you're giving somebody money to do something for you or to you related to health. So it says when you evaluate a service, you need to find out whether the person who will perform the service is qualified. So we'll look at some questions in a minute. But when I'm talking about services, just so we're clear, these are some examples. A personal trainer, maybe at the gym, or an individual trainer, a nutritionist, massage therapist, a doctor or dentist, a homeopathic doctor, or a naturopath. Those are some ideas. So we're paying somebody, like a personal trainer, to do something for us or to us. In this case, they're going to tell us how to work out to meet our goals. So some questions to think about are, what kind of education and experience does this person have? Depending on what they're doing, they probably have to have a degree or a certificate or a license. So ask to see it. They should be happy to show you. Also, do they have any references? They should be, again, happy to provide names of people, clients, with their permission, of course, who have used them as a service. I know at the gym, I'm always watching the trainers and how they interact with their clients. And I wouldn't have a problem going up to another gym member and asking them, hey, what's it like working out with this trainer or that trainer? Are you happy with the results you're seeing? Are you seeing results? So ask people. You can also inquire to see if there's been any complaints filed against the person or the service or the company that the service works for. All right, information. We'll spend more time on this next class. But before you purchase a product or a service, you need to evaluate the information you receive about it. Is it accurate? Is it useful? To evaluate health information, you need to evaluate the source of the information. So we can come at this a couple ways. You can think of information as like literal information. I'm going to research a topic like high blood pressure. So I'm going to Google it, or I'm going to look at a scientific journal on an article on high blood pressure, or I'm going to read a book on it. So that's valid information. But also, if we go back a step to thinking about our health products, the Consumer Reports website, is that a valid source for me to go to get information about which blood pressure monitor to buy? Ask some questions. So again, some examples of these health-related pieces of information. I'm thinking mostly about, researching a topic, like watching a documentary on a health issue, reading news articles or magazine articles or scientific journal articles, books, websites. Other ideas, like I mentioned, Consumer Reports to get information about purchasing a product. So some questions to help you evaluate the source of health information are listed here. First, is the source qualified to speak on the topic? So if I wrote a book about high blood pressure, it might be an awesome book. I might be just so entertaining in the way I write this book, but I'm not a doctor. I might not even have high blood pressure. Am I qualified? It might be really interesting, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm qualified. So is the person qualified? Are they a doctor, or do they have experience in this topic? Does the source bring any bias or slant to the topic? Are they trying to sell you a product or a service? So sometimes we think we're reading information when we're actually reading an advertisement. And sometimes it even says in small print at the bottom, paid advertisement. So look for that. And are there other reliable sources that reach the same conclusion? For example, with my high blood pressure situation, let's say I'm researching ways to reduce blood pressure naturally. So I Google it and I come up with this article and this article and this article. And guess what? They all say basically the same thing. That might be great. They're all coming to the same conclusion. On the other hand, if this organization says I should do this, and this one says I should do this and this, I'm getting mixed messages, right? So maybe I need to find a totally different source, ask a doctor, ask a pharmacist, that kind of thing. And another thing to think about is it up to date? Is it current information? Sometimes it doesn't matter, just really depends on the topic. All right, a couple other things to think about. These terms, fraud and quackery. So you need to know what these two terms mean. Fraud is when a person lies to obtain money or property. So we can have fraud in a lot of different areas. There's like real estate fraud and health fraud. Quackery is specific to health fraud. So it's when a person sells useless medical treatments or products to obtain money. These are some examples of what might be considered quackery. So products labeled as what we used to call snake oil. It might be some recipe of something that claims to cure anything. Well, that might not be accurate. Or how about on the bottom of the screen, there's violet ray vibration ozone medical electricity, some great new invention that will stop all your pain. Does that sound too good to be true? Or what about this special soap? You can wash away your fat with soap. That sounds awesome, right? Probably sounds too good to be true. So those are some examples of what might be considered quackery. So how do we avoid becoming a victim of health fraud or quackery? Well, carefully evaluate the claims made about a treatment or a product. Who's endorsing it? Do your research. And here are some warning signs. So if you're looking at a product and it claims to be the only possible cure for this issue, well, that sounds too good to be true. Second one, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Third one, opposite of that first one, if the product says to cure many different ailments, so it's going to cure everything that you're dealing with. And last one, the product is said to contain special or secret ingredients. There's a picture, I think, in our health book about some old quackery picture, and it has like seahorse ingredients in it. That's a very special and unique ingredient, isn't it? All right, we can respond to health fraud by asking an expert. So maybe asking a doctor or a pharmacist about the product, about their concerns, if they know anything about it. And then if we do feel we have been a victim of fraud, you can notify the Better Business Bureau, the Office of the Attorney General, and if it's something that was shipped to you, you can notify the postmaster. Okay, that brings us to today's assignment. I mentioned earlier you are going to be comparing two similar health-related products. Use the information covered in the slides today, the beginning of the slides today when we talked about products. I also have an example here. Do your research and decide which brand is the better buy and explain why. Okay, so my example is this, and I'll show it to you in a second. My example is comparing two water bottles. This is a Hydro Flask. This is a Thermo Flask. They do basically the same thing. They're basically the same size. Which one is the better buy? Well, what does that mean, better buy? We'll come back to the example in a moment. So if I keep reading here, like the arrow tells me, the better buy means that this purchase offers the optimal combination of everything. So it's going to do what I need. It's a great price, the quality, the benefits, the purpose. It meets my needs at the best price. Remember, just because a product is popular or trendy or comes from a name brand company does not make it the best buy. So if that's what I'm going for, I would say Hydro Flask is the best buy, right? Because it's so popular. But honestly, my Thermo Flask does the exact same thing for quite a bit cheaper. So think beyond popularity or what your favorite is. That's not what this assignment is about. It's about looking at the information and figuring out the best buy. All right, some examples for this assignment are pieces of exercise equipment, like comparing two different brands of a treadmill, or a fitness tracker, like I have a Fitbit, but what if this dies? What am I going to replace it with? Maybe an iWatch, an Apple Watch, or maybe Garmin makes a product that's similar to this. Maybe it's supplements. Maybe I have a specific condition that I'm dealing with, and I know there's two different products out there on the market for acne, for example. That would be great. Supplements like protein powders, protein drinks, that would be okay. What I do want you to stay away from, though, is food and beverages. So don't compare like two different granola bars. No, we'll do something like that when we talk about nutrition. So no food, no beverages, no shoes, no clothing items. And your assignment is due today. I'm going to go back a couple slides here and click on my example, but I also wanted to just talk about something that I purchased recently. I got a stationary exercise bike because our gym has been closed. And I really went back and forth between a few different brands. I was looking at the Peloton. If you know what the Peloton is, this is fancy bike. It connects to the internet, has a big screen. Awesome product, but it's like $2,400. It's very expensive. And so I was looking at options to compare it with. And what I ended up getting is a Schwinn bike. It looks almost identical. I can connect my phone to it to get the app. I can link my phone to my TV. I can cast it to my TV so that I can make it bigger. So I'm not looking at an instructor on a screen this big. And it was, a quarter of the price for basically the same thing. And so far, we've been really happy with it. But that's another example. So two different brands, they do basically the same thing. I didn't need all the bells and whistles. Okay, so here's our example here. Hydro Flask and Thermo Flask. So you're going to first tell me everything that I put in blue here is kind of what you're going to fill in. So what is it? First of all, in this case, I compared same size, 24-ounce stainless steel water bottles. Brand A was my Hydro Flask. Brand B was my Thermo Flask. Okay, safety issues. Well, there's not much to happen, not much safety to think about with a Thermo Flask or a Hydro Flask, but I did look up both of their websites, and they did have some warnings out there, especially about filling the bottles with hot water or boiling water. So I just copied that information in here. Next is the cost, the price. $35 for the Hydro Flask and about $20 for the Thermo Flask, same size. That's cheaper, right? That's $15 cheaper. All right, is there a warranty? Yes, both of them. Again, this is off of their website, so the Hydro Flask website and the Thermo Flask website. They both offer warranties against, defects that happen when I purchase the product. Neither of them are going to replace my product like I dropped it and I got a dent in this. That's what's considered normal wear and tear. Okay, or my straw's dirty on the inside, or I have bite marks up here. That's considered normal wear and tear. But if I purchased this product and the straw lid part was broken, that's a manufacturer defect. Or this one has a screw top. Let's say this part didn't work right. Okay, that would be a defect. Next on the assignment is look at consumer testing. Now, I couldn't find any information on consumer testing, so what I did was I went to Amazon, and this is what Amazon told me. So they gave me the ratings, the stars. So which one was on the left? My Hydro Flask was on the left. It rated 4 out of 5 stars, whereas the Thermoflask was 4.6 out of 5 stars. So based on all of that information, I'm going to say that the Thermoflask is the best buy because, and then I would explain all of that stuff. I know Thermoflask isn't the most popular. That's not what this assignment is about. It's about which one is the best buy. Okay, if I go back to my slides real quick, the assignment is located in Schoology. It looks like this. So you're going to fill in all of the stuff that's kind of that orange peach color. Okay, and I'll show you real quick. Let's see. On Schoology, let me open up our class real quick. Okay, so right under the agenda in the Unit 1 folder, we have I'll move it up to the top, Making Healthy Consumer Choices. And when you click into this, you have the slides that I just went over, as well as the assignment, Comparing Health-Related Products. When I open up the assignment, I'm going to just let you know, I also provided that same example of the assignment, and I think this is a link to the slides, so you have that there as well. All right, guys, good luck. If you have questions, if you're not sure if the product that you want to compare is a good idea or not, just shoot me an email. Make sure it's a similar product. It does not make any sense to compare a water bottle with a treadmill. Okay? Yeah, they're both health products, but they're apples and oranges, right? It's not a comparison at all. All right, guys, good luck and shoot me an email if you have any questions. Take care.